The arrival of the railroad revolutionized travel in South Louisiana. Before the arrival of the railroad, everything was based on water communications, primarily with New Orleans. Before the arrival of the railroad, the Prairie region had been a real backwater. The arrival of the railroad brought the late 19th century directly to the Cajun prairies. The population within a 10-mile radius of the railroad was directly affected. Many pockets of traditional culture, however, remained in the area. This was a direct result of social isolation, which in fact was a form of resistance against modernization.
But if American influences were trickling into Cajun society, nothing prepared it for the flood of change that would come with the discovery of oil.
Oil provided the strongest catalyst for change, the strongest economic incentive, because a farmer could make more in one day as a roughneck in the oil industry, working in the Bosco fields, than he could working in a month as a day laborer in the area. It provided tremendous economic incentive for change. And the oil industry was dominated by Anglo immigrants, primarily from Oklahoma and Texas. Advancement in the oil industry was predicated upon one's ability to function in that English language culture. And this provides a strong economic incentive for people to move into the Anglo-American mainstream.
During World War I, during this nationalistic period, with the exclusion of the French language on school grounds, punishing kids, humiliating kids, forcing them into a position where the first few weeks of school they had to wet their pants every day because they didn't know how to ask for permission to go to the bathroom in English, and they weren't allowed to ask in French. And a language that causes you to humiliate yourself in that way, causes you to be punished, write 1,000 times, I will not speak French on the school grounds, wear a sign that, you know, calling attention to yourself as a fool. You want to distance yourself from that language as fast as possible. But then the same generation finds themselves fighting World War II. And many of them found themselves in the European theater in France. And it occurred to me that of many of them that this language that they were told wasn't even real French and it was worthless, worked just fine. Especially when talking to French peasants and ordinary people in the marketplace and trying to get a date with this pretty girl or get a bottle of wine or a dry place to sleep. And their superiors noticed this right away. You know, these people can speak to the natives. And so they became interpreters.
World War II had a huge impact on Cajun society, and I'd say it's one of the three most important events in the entire sweep of Acadian history from 1604 to the present. First of all, you had all Cajun males from the ages of 18 to 36 being susceptible to the draft, so they were being picked up by Uncle Sam and being sent to camps and God knows where for basic training, and there no one spoke French. They were expected to speak English. Maybe some of these guys had never been away from their hometowns before or past the parish line. So all of a sudden they're immersed in this English-speaking world, and they had to learn to speak English in order to stay alive.
These GIs who came back home